both sides of the conversation, family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Tuesday, so y'all know what that means. We're going to have another Hidden Gem segment where we continue to highlight our Black and Brown businesses, as well as those community leaders that are doing positive things to impact our community. Tonight, we have a full house. We have some Dreamkeeper initiative here. We have some folks that's doing some amazing things in our community, and we're hoping to connect them with Community Day to find out about the things that they're doing and how you can connect with them, some of the resources and some of the information that's happening in our community. So we are excited tonight, and we thank you all for tuning here. Please go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, turn on the alert notification if you want to get any updates, alerts about what's going on both sides of the conversation, where we're going to be at in the community. A lot of people trying to keep up where we're going to be at. Please go to our website. You can get that information on our community calendar, as well as go on our website, subscribe for our newsletter. Our newsletter will be providing a lot of that information, where we'll be at, where we'll be going, and what we'll be doing. So please utilize that website to get your information on both sides of the conversation. With that being said, we're going to jump into some community announcements, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's Hidden Gems. Very, very important stuff going on. With that being said, we'll get to some of the announcements that's happening across the country, and big stuff that's happening to impact our community. So community knows one of the things that has happened is Kaiser has already sent out letters to 2,200 employees for notices of suspension and some layoff for the COVID vaccine mandate. As you all know, we announced on Sunday in New York, over 5,000 employees were released for COVID. I know a lot of community are still up against the wall about getting vaccinated as these mandates keep pushing across. A lot of these organizations are following suit. So now Kaiser is another employer that are letting go suspending 2,200 with the possibility of more. This is real community. I know we're waiting, but some things we just can't avoid. I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems more organizations are getting behind that mandate and making sure that the employees do it, not just in the healthcare professional. We're starting to see it in other organizations, other communities. It is happening. So if you haven't been vaccinated, that's another thing to consider. We all already dealing with financial struggles and different things of that nature. I hope it don't get to that point, but they are being serious about this mandate. So just wanted to put that out to the community, not to put fear, but just to understand that these mandates are real and organizations are following these mandates and letting people go. And I'm not here to push one way or the other way to get vaccinated, but just wanted to put that out to the community that it is happening. It is real. It's not a joke. Other things that's happening, a former Tesla contractor was awarded $137 million in a racial harassment suit. That is huge news. As you all know, over the news for several years. There's been a number of issues at Tesla and a number of the large corporations about racial discrimination, racial harassment. So it's just nice to see some of these complaints are starting to come forward. And hopefully with these type of settlements, some of these organizations and some of these employers across this United States will get their act together and learn to respect people in the workplace. So sometimes these settlements help the change that we're looking for. No one should have to go to work and feel like they're being harassed or discriminated and things of that nature. So this was a big settlement. With $6.9 million in compensatory damages, another 130 in punitive damages. So this is a big deal. And again, we know this type of behavior is happening in our workplaces. We've had conversations about that here on this platform, different city workers, different workers coming on here talking about some of the issues that they're dealing with at work with retaliation, harassment, and things of that nature. So it's nice to see finally, this was done. A jury of 8 made the decision, and there was one Black jury that was on there as well. And that's why we always advocate for people in the community to get involved, be a jury. Don't just skip jury duty. Sometimes that vote that you might have might change something. And I hope not only the change for that, that organizations really consider, thinking about how serious these complaints are, and they'll shape up their acts to help impact our community as well. We want to be able to have our people go to work and not have to deal with this type of behavior. We know it happened, and we'll be covering some of those conversations when we have our microaggression in the workplace conversation coming up at the end of the month. But that was just something important I think community needs to know about. President Biden ended one of the Trump era bans. He removed some of that so that federal funding can still go to abortion clinics. As you all know, this past weekend, there was a big march for pro-abortion rights. As we all know, Texas had put a ban to it. So the president have lifted some of that Trump era ban that stopped that. So we'll see how that go. We'll keep you posted on that. The CDC has done a study about depression, anxiety symptoms in Americans, has increased it and spiked during the pandemic. A lot of Americans, especially in our Black and brown community, has been impacted with anxiety, depression during the COVID-19. So there's a $3 billion fund that Governor Newsom put out to handle some of the mental health in our community. So hope some of those resources come to our community, and we'll be doing our part here at both sides of the conversation to continue to have those conversations about mental health, mental wellness, and bring some of those professional folks on here to give our community some of those coping tools and things that they can do to get through these times. As we know, these are tough times that we're dealing with in our community with the crisis that's happening. So it's very, very important stuff. With that being said, we'll get into some of the community announcements that's taking place. The Family Support Services, free childcare for CalWORK participants are happening. They're having eligibility. You can sign up and contact Karina Brooks between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And they have after hours numbers as well. They having free health family support services, child care. The information is up on the screen. If you know a family member, a loved one, or community member who is looking for child care, looking for support, maybe don't have the funding, please reach out to them as they have services for our community for child care. So that information is up on the screen, and we'll keep moving through here. Indian Basin, all you all that know the RPI, APRI, they're still doing the free high-speed internet. They supporting laptops, tabling, and technical support out there at Indian Basin. If you want to write a resume, you're looking for a job, you need a computer, that's a place you can go out there. They are out there Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Check out Brother Kurt or Chica or one of the APRI team members. They'll be out there. It's located at Hunters Point Boulevard in Halls, right behind Old West Point there. And we'll put the information up there with their email address and website to get that out. Very, very important stuff. The City Administrator Small Business Summit is happening. I think it started tonight. Yeah, it is tonight. So October 5th and 6th, 9:30 a.m. and tomorrow it'll be at 9 a.m. If you want to learn how to do business with the city and county in San Francisco, please go to the website, the information that we're putting on the screen. They're having another workshop, a small workshop tomorrow at 9 a.m. So if you're interested in doing business with the city, want to become a supplier, please go on to the website and sign up for that event tomorrow. With that being said, East Oakland Collective Bike Ride and Creek Cleanup is happening in Oakland this weekend. We'll be out there, both sides of the conversation. You'll see us out there. I won't be riding a bike, but I'll be in the creek helping pick up trash, clean up our community. Again, it's not just about San Francisco, Oakland. It's about all of our communities. We want to make sure our communities are clean. They're going to have a phenomenal event. It is starting at 11 o'clock at Liberation Park in Oakland. They'll be riding to the San Leandro Creek to clean up. And then they're going to have a resource fair as well with games, food, music, and things of that nature. Afterwards, it's going to be a phenomenal event. I'll be out there. So if you want to come clean the community and do your part, be the change, I'll be out there. You come clean up with me, and we can enjoy the music and fun festivities afterwards. This Sunday, October 10th at the Bayview Opera House, we're going to be celebrating Dr. Scott's 75th birthday celebration. It's going to be a phenomenal event. If you need, it's going to be an RSVP required, but we put it out because we love Dr. Scott and all the stuff she do for the city and for the community. So we'll be out at that event as well. Very, very important event. And then the New Roots Theater Festival is happening Saturday and Sunday, October 16th and 17th from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Bravo Theater in San Francisco, 2781 24th Street. We're going to have some of our Dreamkeeper Initiative folks. Brother Rodney, if y'all seen him last Tuesday, phenomenal brother, and some of the folks in there, they're going to be putting on some good Black theater. So if you want to see what some Black theater look like, get out there and be a part of that festival. It's the New Roots Festival. The tickets are only $30. Okay, community, go out there and support these young folks and check out some of the work that they're doing in the performing arts. This is amazing stuff. We'll be out there. We'll be in the front row somewhere. We'll sneak in. We won't tell Roddy. We'll sneak in and be a part of that as well. And then the San Francisco African American Elder Childhood Educators, they're hosting a youth event that's happening. It's free to the public on Sunday, October 17th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. located at Lee Avenue in Ocean in the OMI. If you want to go be a part of that, if you're a parent, you want to find out some of the things that they're doing. They got some STEM stuff going on. Very, very important stuff. Please check out their website or that phone number to get more information. We hope to see you there. The Av Bar Ethnic Toy Drive is happening. They are trying to recruit toys. For this, they're going to be starting October 23rd from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., 1607 Ocean Avenue. If you have some toys, you want to help those in need, please make sure that you get out there to that event. Also, this Saturday, both sides of the conversation in collaboration with the San Francisco American Arts Culture District, we're going to be out on Bayview Hunters Point at the 3rd Street Mendel Plaza. We'll be out there from 11 to 5 p.m. For another Hombre Block Party. If you have any questions and you want to get there, reach out to Erica Scott at the African American Arts and Culture Center. But we'll be out there in community. If you all seen the photos and the videos from the previous week, we was at Cafe Envy. This week we'll be at the Mendel Plaza right there on 3rd in Oakdale, 3rd and Palouse, in between there. It'll be a phenomenal event. Community will be out there. We'll be having dominoes, arts. They're going to have a paint day. So the women that want to come out in the community, bring your paintbrushes. They're going to have a little paint party and things of that nature. So it'll be a very, very nice event. And then the Ocean Avenue Halloween Block Party, my brother Maurice Rivers is putting this event together on Saturday, October the 23rd from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. It's going to be on Faxon Avenue between Ocean Ave and Demofort. It's free to the public. If you want to be a part of this event or if you're a vendor, please reach out to Maurice Rivers and we'll get that information up on the screen for that event. But that's happening October 23rd. With that being said, for both sides of the conversation, this Thursday, we're going to have our Educational Thursday presentation live. We're going to have Caroline Dunlap. She's going to come on and teach a re-entry presentation. Very, very important stuff for community. So I hope that you all will be there. And then this Sunday, community, for our Sunday conversation, very, very important conversation. We're going to be talking about breast cancer awareness. This is very, very important in our community, especially during this COVID time. We've talked to some of the folks in the community. People are having trouble get access because of some of the COVID, people taking up bed space. We're losing people, and our women in the community are being impacted by breast cancer. So this should be a great conversation, talking to some of the survivors, some of the organizations, some of the doctors about what's going on with breast cancer and how do we impact the Black women and brown women of our communities to make sure that they're getting checked and all the information that they need. So very, very important stuff. And then on the 17th of October, that Sunday's conversation, we're going to be celebrating the Black Panther Party 55th anniversary. We are honored to have them come on our platform to celebrate in space with us. This is going to be a huge event to have them in space with us for their 55th anniversary. So come talk to some of the legacy keepers. Phenomenal group of folks that's going to be on here. We're looking forward to that. And then on 10/24, we're going to be having a domestic violence conversation. You all know this is October. It is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We're going to talk to some of the survivors, some of the organizations that handle those services and things of that nature. So it should be a great conversation. And then the last Sunday of the month, as I mentioned earlier, we'll be having a conversation about microaggressions in the workplace. Phenomenal conversation, a conversation that we need to have. Very important stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to close my mouth now. I've done enough talking, and now we could get on to tonight's hidden gems. I know y'all been waiting patiently for them to come up, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up my brother Nate. Nate is back. Last week, we had some technical difficulties. People was asking, where is Nate at? Where is he at? Nate is back with us. He's here, and we just happy to have you back, Nate, in space with us to help tonight hosting. So thank you, brother, for being here.
Hey, man, let's go. I'm looking forward. Thanks for having me, John.
Hey, no problem, man. We always love the support from the SF Rebels, and we always support our SF Rebels. Phenomenal organization. With that being said, we're going to bring up tonight's first hidden gem. As we've been holding her up, she got to get on the road, but we're going to get her up. Sister Felicia, come on up here and talk to the people and tell them who you are, what you're doing, and get your information out there to the people.
Great. Thank you for having me here. My name is Felicia Thibodeau. I'm the Executive Director for Southwest Community Corporation. We do business at the IT Bookman Community Center, we are a senior center by week, and we are a COVID hub providing COVID testing, COVID vaccination, and COVID resources on Fridays and Saturdays. At our senior center, we do line dancing, book club. We play bingo, of course, and we have a choir. A lot of our activities are outside because we're still enforcing social distancing so that we can keep our seniors safe. We accessing food for our seniors, brown bags with culturally competent fresh produce and vegetables. I say culturally competent because we give out collard greens and mustard greens and okra, corn, and tomatoes. And so that our seniors are cooking things that are delectable to their palate and not just anything just from the food bank. Our seniors are currently like house rich, but money poor. They own their homes, but they still need to be supported. The majority of our seniors are 87 years old is the average age, and they've been living in the Lakeview OMI community for 60 plus years. They've raised their families there, built community, and the Black families they still exist, and they are well and live today. For our COVID hub, we are currently testing approximately 300 people on Fridays and vaccinating an average of 25 people a weekend. 25 may not seem like a big number, but we've been providing access to the vaccine since January of this year, and we've been providing access to testing since August of last year. Every one person that's vaccinated is a possibility of another person who's not dying. Get yourself vaxxed, 446 Randolph Street in San Francisco. And I would like to share with you some of our...
It's up on the screen. All you have to do is press play. It's up for you.
Okay, I don't see play, but... Okay, never mind. Never mind. Won't waste my little 20 minutes. I was going to show you some photos of our seniors line dancing. Line dancing helps them hand-eye coordination, cognitive memory, and getting physical fitness done to music. They make up their steps and they'll do it, and they be stepping. So you could check us out on our website as well. I really like to promote reading for our seniors because that too also helps them to engage, lets them kind of venture to another place, especially while sheltering in place. And then they come to the center and talk about answer about 10 questions, and talk about the book with each other. Again, that helps to stimulate mind, creativity, and bring about unity. Our senior center, we're really trying to make sure that our seniors have access to quality service enriched programs, not just activity. We're looking at the whole health of our seniors, their mental, physical, and financial health. And we also want to be on the road to recovery as we start to exit out this pandemic. We're credited at our COVID hub to vaccinating more than 1,500 people. You may have seen we've gotten a lot of press and they have put Felicia, but I represent a great partnership with our Invest Black, our OMI Community Collaborative, Maurice Rivers from the OMI CPP, who's putting it down by keeping us engaged with meaningful and cultural related activities. But there's no single person that can take on COVID. We have to do this as a collective and be together one-on-one so that we can save lives. So proud to represent the Lakeview OMI, but I am born and raised in Bayview, so I'll represent Bayview for life.
All right, phenomenal work. You know, I'm just excited. I see Mary Thomas comment. What a phenomenal queen that is too. I just love me some Mary. You know, my mom passed away and she just been uplifting me, encouraging me every day, sending me positive words. But I just want to start off and say I love what y'all doing over at OMI, bringing it together. Shout out to Maurice Rivers, Renard, the Invest Black. You guys are doing some phenomenal things. And I like that organization, how you guys are working together and collaborating together. And, you know, that's been a struggle in our city, trying to get folks just locally to collaborate together. So to see the OMI doing it, I'm hoping that is a model for our other districts to get behind. And then together as Black San Francisco, we could go ahead and impact the city as a whole, because I think it's that time. We have some leadership that look like us and feel like us and understand like us. And we have to get behind that and bring that unity together with our mayor, our board president, and you know, Director Davis doing her thing at the Human Rights Commission. So just want to say thank you for that. But then, you know, I want to jump into the senior programming, and I just want to tell you, like, I am so honored to see you all doing that work. Because it's very important. You know, I was talking to you earlier before we started about how some of the seniors and the elders in the community feels like, you know, they kind of left out. We don't have any love during COVID. Some of the families, they're dealing with anxiety and things of that nature. So I think it's just great programming that you all are doing to keep our seniors engaged, keep them involved, and know that they loved and supported. Too many times we do forget about our seniors when it comes to funding and different things of that nature. But it's just nice to see IT Bookman and the work that you're doing in the collective of the OMI, making sure that our seniors are supported with programming and things of that nature. Just phenomenal stuff. And you know, anything that we could do to support, we're going to get behind you. I told you I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna do a little line dancing with them too. You know, but the Invest Black thing, you know, I met you on the Invest Black thing. I've seen you on calls and things of that nature. But to connect with you on that Invest Black thing, I think is just very powerful. Because again, as community, we have to talk about this financial literacy and how do we economically impact our community, you know, to make this change and to really move our communities forward. It's the financial literacy piece, and Nate and Park and Rec, they're doing their part. It's going to take all of us to really put that seed in the mind of our young people, in the mind of our community, how we handle money, how we deal money. And I heard you say something. What is it? House property? You said house rich and something. I can't
house rich and money poor, because they're still on their fixed income. They own a home, so half the times our seniors don't qualify for things. However, we are there. I wanted to just quickly say the day that the pandemic hit and we went into shelter in place on like March 17th, our community activated on March 18th. We knew that seniors couldn't get out. Lakeview is a very steep, hilly terrain, and we loaded up food and PPE and all the other essential items and began to deliver right to our seniors' door. They didn't have to call us. We knew exactly where they were, and we stepped up. Even our Supervisor Safai, was coming and loading up whatever could do. People started donating all kind of items, non-perishable items, so that we can get right to the heart of making sure that we did not lose one senior due to COVID during the pandemic. And we actually gave out more than like 35,000 meals. I can't even tell you the amount of PPE that we distributed weekly, brown bags. We were part of the partnership with the American Kitchen, getting the hot meals. Now we have our own kitchen and it's up and running. We're serving hot dinners to our seniors, delivered fresh, piping hot from 4 to 6 in the evening. We give them a 5-day frozen lunch so that they have lunch for 5 days and they don't have to come out. All of these was in response to making sure that our seniors knew that we did not forget about them, that we loved them, and that we wanted them to survive. Oftentimes our seniors says, thank you for not forgetting about us, and they come down and they've been supporting us. One of the biggest things, other than the grants that I'm proud about at IT Bookman, last year we had about $3,500. Doesn't seem like, 35,000 that was gifted to us by $5 and $10 checks from our seniors. And it's really powerful. People on fixed income, when they go on their pocketbooks and donate whatever they can, it means that they want us to survive and that they feel like the services that we provide at the community center are worth it. So
very, very powerful stuff. I know one of the people in the audience asked about, are you guys also helping them get their fares, meaning that, living trust and things is that something that the program offers, or is that something that you're not at there yet?
Yes, we work with legal assistance for the elderly, and we used to have set days at our community center. In the pandemic, it went virtually. Not a lot of our seniors stepped up and asked for help during the pandemic, but as they starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel and they see those who have passed away around them, they're asking for those services. But we partner with Bishop Housing to make sure access to senior housing is always available. I sit on the Balboa Upper Yard, making sure that they have 1 bedrooms and not only large side units for families, so that our seniors who are ready to move from home into rental, so that they can have a better quality of life, that there are 1 bedrooms available. I wanted to say one more thing too. The Lakeview OMI Wellness Hub, we received a call from the White House on Friday, calling to say thank you for our vaccine efforts of testing. And of course, the president was busy trying to negotiate his packages, but the COVID command team from the White House definitely called, and I gave them a virtual tour on Facebook. We've been getting a lot of recognition. I was the Jefferson Award winner for October 2021, and where it may have been my face, it's definitely about the team that I have working with me side by side, working on Saturdays, and we're putting it down in the Lakeview, trying to do our part to make a difference.
Powerful stuff. Go ahead, Nate. Jump in there.
Well,
I know you got to go.
I gotta echo what John said about the whole OMI community. I mean, you guys has been the leader in showing how other communities should stand up and rise together. I mean, I'm from Fillmore, and I supported the skate party you guys had, and I used to come over and dance with the seniors when they used to have a little dancing night and things like that over there. I didn't dance, but I supported when EJ was the board president over there. I just love the way you guys come together as a family, as a whole, and I pray that our other communities will put egos to side and come together like the OMI community. God bless you guys, and I just appreciate you guys' leadership, from Maurice to Gwen and Renard and everybody. I know I hate saying names because I always miss names, but it's a collective, and I am so proud to just have a tiny part in just helping out wherever I can. So thank you, my sister. Thank you.
Thank you again. Teamwork make the dream work.
Off top, thank you. I know we got a full house. We got to keep it moving tonight. But thank you, Felicia. We're going to be connecting with you in the future, and I'll bring my 2 left feet over there to dance with the seniors. I promise you. Okay.
Oh, no. They're 2-step on your left. You better bring your right and your left and some help because they'll get you.
But tell the brothers over there, though, I see them playing dominoes. Now, I get down with the dominoes. I'll be over there to come claim fame on the domino table.
They play bid whist and they talk plenty of SH.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much, Queen.
Thank you for having me on. It was nice today. Thank you so much for the work that you're doing, Nate. You always putting it down. I'm taking care of the kids. John Henry, thank you so much. I'm seeing you all over all the social media connecting us. Oakland, San Francisco. We need that. And big ups to the Lakeview OMI, Invest Black, and the OMICC. Thank you so much.
Man, that's what it's all about. We about our Black folks. We don't care where you at here at both sides of the conversation. We ain't getting caught in the demographics. You from this city. We talking about our Black folks. I'm all about my Black folks. If you want us to come to an event, we'll show up to your city too. That's what we all about. We just fed the folks down in LA. We ain't messing around. We trying to take care of our people. But thank you again for being a hidden gem tonight. Coming on, letting the community know where you at, what you're doing. You're not so hidden now. I didn't even get to know you from the beginning. Now some more folks out there going to be reaching out to you and connecting with the OMI and Invest Black and some of the stuff that you all doing. And I'm looking forward to being a part of that as well. So thank you for being patient and giving us time today and blessing the community with what you have going on. And community, here's another opportunity to get behind an organization, support, donate, get out there and help. They got some phenomenal things go over. Check out the website. The information is running across the screen. And if you want to reach out, this sister will reach out and contact you and hook you up. So thank you again, Felicia, for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring up our next hidden gem tonight, Miss Precious. We're going to bring her up and let her talk about, she's one of the Dreamkeeper Initiative. She's going to talk about some of the things she has going on in her role in the San Francisco Dreamkeeper Initiative, how she's going to be working with community to impact our community. Sister Precious, go ahead and let the community know what you're doing.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. So my name is Precious Stroud. As you said, I am with PJS Consultants. It's a firm that I founded to help organizations really tell their stories using positive narrative marketing. So we have been doing this for about 7.5 years and really just wanted to be the marketing team we always wish we had at work. So I'll share a little bit here. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. So
you have to click the double share. We can't say you have to click the
double share.
Yeah, make sure you click up there. I'll see it when you got it right. You just have to click
entire share.
So when you click share, there's 3 tabs. Are you doing it from your Google? On the top is 3 tabs that say Google. Click on it to pull up the Google screen.
Okay, so I'll try one more. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'm with you. There we go. Are we there?
Yep, I think I have it right there. Okay, there you go.
Okay. All right, so you can find information about us at pjsconsultants.net. We have a case study collection here if you want to learn about what we're doing. We have a sample from someone who works with us, someone who does a Black Wine Festival, Director Davis, and then a nonprofit organization. We do believe that organizations can lead with a strong brand narrative. So our work with Dreamkeeper is to help organizations really tell their stories. And so we have been working with organizations like Mo Magic Collective, Impact, Black to the Future, and the Human Rights Commission, and are excited to be able to support organizations that are in Dreamkeeper, who will be Dreamkeeper grantees. So I just wanted to, no matter what meeting I'm in, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about our values because we take this very seriously, that we do work in collaboration and integrity. We have very high quality standards. Representation is very important to us. The reason for some of us, we didn't have always bosses who look like us is because the representation wasn't there. So we want to make sure that we're creating opportunities also for people who are looking to get experience in marketing and communications. and this value of love. We have people tell us all the time, why is that on your website? Not why is it on your website, but wow. And then we say, if it's not at the center of everything that we're doing, then it's not working for us, because we chose to do this work because we care about the communities we live in. So we provide communication strategy, implementation, and then help organizations make sure they can continue. So it's about we help with communications, then we help implement it, decide what's going to happen in the strategy, implement that strategy, but not walk away. Make sure we can maintain that, organization can maintain that work going forward. So related to the work we do is the notion, I heard you, John Henry, mention narrative change when you were doing our prep. And certainly that's important to us, because we do believe if we tell the truth, then a form of healing happens, which leads to a form of freedom. And what I mean by that, if with our organizational stories, is that if I am telling the truth about an organization, about who I'm serving, the partners I work with, then when somebody else says something and tries to say a narrative about them, then the truth gives me freedom from that negativity. The truth gives me freedom. So somebody could say, well, you're an angry Black woman. I could say, I'm angry today, and that's okay. But I do know the truth of my story, which means I don't have to be defined by what you're saying about me. So in the last Dreamkeeper community update, you might remember there was someone who came on at the end who was talking about language and taking in the language and the definitions. And so we use asset framing and approach everything from a positive lens, so that we're not perpetuating some of the negative stereotypes that have been infused, that then people define themselves by. So if we're working with youth and the organizational messaging is defining people by their deficits, there's shortcomings and obstacles across the board, no matter who you are. We don't define people by a barrier they have. We're saying, let's rethink how we're communicating as organizations and as individuals. So that's the work we're doing. We're excited to be able to work with several organizations in the coming year.
So I'm sure we'll be one of those organizations that you'll be working with, because we're part of that narrative shift part of this. And, I like that saying, because that's what we believe here at both sides of the conversation. Through communication, through conversation, a healing process begins. I just believe, anytime you go to therapy, anything, they always talk about getting it off your chest. But what I do hope is, when we do talk, is I get it about the messaging and having a positive lens, but also telling the narrative of our story is the truth. Some of that hurt, some of that pain that's taking place in our community. And so many times when the larger, broader news stories, they always paint this picture of just everything is one way, right? We also got to pull the positive out, but we also have to tell the truth. And I like how you said that, because in our community, there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of things that happen in our community that people do not want to talk about. So when we have an opportunity to pull it out, we got to hear their truth and hear their pain too, and tell that story. Sometimes it's an ugly truth, but it also has to be heard. I don't want to be a part of nothing that everything is just great. When you look on the news, you see what's going on. We had a conversation this Sunday about substance abuse and homelessness in San Francisco. It's real. We can't just turn the TV off and say that it's not happening, live in fantasy land. We also have to make sure that the real stories is being heard, the pain, the impact of some of the trauma systemically that's hurt our communities are being said and heard. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it where the lens is open. We're not going to skew the lens, but we also have to tell those truths, because a lot of times it gets skewed that everything is great. And I don't want to tell that story, because I know everything ain't as great, but I am about, even though things aren't great, the solutions on how we fix it. So I just want to make sure that that's a part of what we're doing. How do we fix the problem? We know the problems are there. How collectively in our marketing campaign, our messaging, our language, how do we come up with the solutions to impact our community, to make sure that our community moving forward has a positive impact when we're talking about dealing with local officials, dealing with city government, dealing with community, right? We want to change that. And it all starts with being open with that communication. So that's powerful stuff. Looking forward to connecting with you. I mean, I think that's a big part of it. We have a lot of work that we have to do with messaging as well, because we are a part of it. But I also want to make sure that we stay authentic. This is an opportunity, and I like what the mayor said. I want to hear what's going on from our community, from our voices. You know, we don't want to hear from CNN and mainstream media. I want to hear from my people. I want to know what's going on in the day-to-day lives when we talk about the violence that's taking place in our community, how people feel about these COVID mandates, the truth, and why people are afraid. We got to make sure that we hear that too. So I'm just happy to see you all part of the Dreamkeeper Initiative and the things that you all are going to be doing to help that narrative shift. And hopefully with some of that professionalism that you bring, because I'm not a professional marketer and I'm not a professional.
I would not agree with that at all. Let me just stop. So just first and foremost, we're talking about storytellers. We're talking about communicating messages from one place to the next. And not only is the platform exceptional in achieving its mission, and I've only watched a few episodes getting ready for tonight, in every way, it appeals to the emotional as well as gets all the information across. So people might want to take some notes when you talk about authenticity. You talk about getting the whole. I just learned a ton of stuff about what I need to do with my mother. I mean, thank you. I am, the work you're talking about. We had a nonprofit that grew out of our work. It's called Black Female Project. And we collect stories from Black women about how they navigate racism and sexism in the workplace. And so that also is a place. We're not saying the other, to your point, it's about telling the whole story, getting it out so we can get through and move on. But defining the organizations can't keep using language that's destructive. And then some of that organizations pick up because it's the status quo in the industry, in the nonprofit public sector industry. But we can change that. So that's where we're coming from, and appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you.
And I'm glad that you said that, because so many times, in our community, I hear people talking about their PhD and their master's degree. And I just tell people like this: you just got to be able to understand our people. If you can listen, you can figure out what's going on. It don't take a PhD to have a conversation with the people on the street, the people in the community. And I think sometimes we get lost into, I can't listen to you, or I don't want to understand you because I'm here and I'm there and I'm tired of that, right? I just want to talk to the people. Like I said last week on my show, I want to rock with the movers and shakers. Okay, we got 30,000 people protesting KTVU, but we got issues in our community. We can't get 100 people to show up. That's the people. I want to talk about that. Okay, we can sit there and talk about all this other stuff that's going on. I want to talk about what's impacting my people. I want my people to feel me and feel my testimony for what I'm going through when I'm out on the streets with them, when I'm out in the community. I want their voices to be heard. I want other people to understand these are the people we need to be rallying about. We got 30,000 people. I want 30,000 people to show up for those people that's on the street looking for housing. We got eviction moratorium. I need 30,000 people to show up at City Hall and make sure that we get funding for those people. That's what I want my people to do. It's a lot of work. But again, we're not going to judge people. We're going to meet people where they at. We're going to make our community feel good and proud of who they are. And we're going to figure out how we're going to make this pivot and change this paradigm that we're talking about. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Stuff. Nate, you got something you want to ask this powerful sister?
No, man, but I hope we on the list for the narrative shift, because I hear nothing but good things about Precious. So I just can't wait.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much, Precious, for coming on. We're looking forward to working with you. I'm sure I'll be one of those grantees that you'll be working with, as we're going to continue to push this platform, continue to push the messaging of what you're talking about, and make sure that we get it right. But we're going to make sure that it's real, it's authentic, and our people can feel it. We're not going to give them the doctor spiel. We'll give them the John Henry, both sides of the conversation from the community spiel, so they get it and they can feed off that. But thank you very much for coming on for our Hidden Gem segment. Thank you for announcing to the community who you are, what you're doing, and your role in this. So community, be looking for some real authentic communication coming your way real soon. So thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next Hidden Gem. And anything we could do to support you, just make sure you get it out to us. If there's any digital flyer, if you're having a class or a group or any other organizational groups that you're supporting, that's what we do here, is help get that information out to community. So please get it to us. All right. With that being said, we're going to continue to move on. We had to get out of here. We'll get her back. We're going to bring up our next Hidden Gem tonight. Another phenomenal sisters. Y'all be talking about we talking about Black women rock around here. We got some phenomenal queens that's coming up. We're going to bring up Miss Brandy. Miss Brandy, come on up here and talk to the people and tell them what you got going on, sister.
Hi, how are you guys doing? Thank you for having me on tonight.
All right.
So I am Brandy Sheffield. I am the CEO of Learning Associates, and I run an executive coaching program called the Outlier Leader. That name is very special to me, one, because I used to be a math teacher and lots of math background. So if you know about being an outlier, you know you stand apart and you normally stand higher than anyone else. But the executive coaching program focuses on leadership messaging. And the way that it came about was I used to only do executive coaching around strategic planning and facilitation and how to move your teams and build strong empowerment within your teams and your culture. But what I found was that after giving executives the strategies that they were looking for, that they didn't know how to sell it, that they were missing the messaging, their presence and their communication was off. And our communication is one of the most powerful tools that we have. And it's also the thing that if you don't hook somebody in the first sentence or two, you've lost them. And honestly, people are just waiting on you to stop talking, right? So I started the Outlier Leader Executive Coaching Program to do exactly that, to help people shift their leadership messaging that now attracts career opportunities to people and stop chasing for them, or be able to land your pitch or land your messaging or interview well or network well. In any situation where you can think that you need to speak, the goal is that your words bring people to clamor to you and not repel them away from you. I think what I would add is in that leadership messaging, we focus on three things. So the first, we focus on quite a few things. We always deal with the internal negative self-talk, any self-sabotaging that you might be doing for yourself when your speech and in your presence. So we rip all of that apart to start priming you then for the skills that we would impart. And the three skills are first, self-reflection of change management. So change management is often used in a reflection of other people. How are you as the leader going to help usher a team of people through change? But you have to understand how you navigate through change first. And that's being able to understand what your own vision and skills are, how you find incentives and resources for yourself to be successful, as well as how you transfer into commitment and ownership, and then how you move forward through with action planning. So we do a huge amount of self-reflection in the focus of change management to understand who you are as a leader. Then we focus on andragogy. So the word is not andragogy or androgyny, it's andragogy. And that is the principles of adult learning. And there are 4 principles that we teach. And what we teach is basically about knowing who your audience is and how to talk to that audience. So if you are talking to a group of parents or a new client, or whoever it is, right, that you understand who that audience is and you follow the 4 principles to be able to speak directly to them to keep them engaged. And then we finally end off with capstoning around systems thinking. So the way to make yourself stand apart after those first 2 things is to be able to extend the conversation to the next level. And that next level can look like in the moment coaching. It can look like asking the next level questions around, vision setting or goal setting. But it is having a set of systems thinking skills to be able to extend that conversation. So one simple one is thinking through intended and unintended consequences. When you're able to speak to an issue, a problem, an idea, a product, where you say, here are the things I know are going to happen, and here are the things that I'm anticipating may or may not happen, that intrigues people, right? It makes them think, wow, this person really knows and understands what all these next steps are. They've thought deeply about this. And so then you're positioned like an expert. So essentially, in a nutshell, that's what we do. We help people with their leadership messaging in order to advance their careers.
Wow, very powerful stuff. I'm gonna have to sign up for a class. I'm not a great leader at communication, okay? I think I do more self-inflicted wounds than everything, especially here on both sides of the conversation. I think Director Davis said I need to get an anger management therapist.
You wasn't lying.
I'm about my people, right? And I know as a leader, there's certain messages that we have to have, right? But we also in our community, because see, I'm looking at my people. Okay, when I'm talking to my people, I'm talking to the people. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes if you try to, get the target audience in a way that's corporately benefit, sometimes for some folks, yes, they get it. But in my community, sometimes you just have to have the doggone, down dirty truth. And
Yes,
sometimes
and that
it's
there's a time and there's a place for that, right? Because sometimes you just have to say what it is. But before you can just say what it is, you have to gain their ear, right? You have to capture their attention to be like, okay, I'm willing to now let you let go of the talk, right? And now let's just shoot the stuff, right? Now let's just get to whatever it is. But there's a process to get to that, because when people do that, you've built trust. And that's the purpose of leadership messaging, to quickly build trust and position yourself as an expertise in order to then carry your message to wherever you want it to be.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to sign up because I'm frustrated and I'm tired of our community enabling this bad behavior from our leadership. So I do more self-inflicted wounds. So I get a lot of people who unfollow me, but it's okay. But we enable a lot of bad behavior in our community. And I know sometimes we have to have that perfection and that right messaging to lead people. But I done tried that model, and sometimes that model don't work. So I'm reverting a little bit, but I'm gonna be disciplined. I'm gonna sign up and come to class to learn something new.
I don't believe in losing your authenticity at all. I'm from Southern California. I grew up in Inglewood. Like my mom was a janitor, a waitress, whatever. Like we didn't have much, and so I am a hood chick. I grew up in the hood. I am a refined hood chick, and I am who I am. I will wear my bamboo earrings, my afro, and the whole nine. But I also know how to show up, right, and move the conversation where I need to, and then start exposing you to who Brandy is, right? Then you start to learn more of my story, but I know how to get you in from the jump. The other mistake that we often make is that people think your skills and your education are the things that get you in the door, and they're not. It is truly, like, I know you've seen the person who is less skilled than you, right, or younger than you, or hasn't been in the industry, now they're your boss. And you how that happened, right? Everybody has one of those stories. And it's because they know how to talk the talk. They know how to get their foot in the door. And that's all they need to do, because you become the worker bee. You're going to do all the work. They going to lead you while they're leading the team to get the end result. And they get all the credit for it. I see that in our community all the time. We are in the middle or at the bottom, but we know all of it. We just don't know how to break past that next level. So we falter in interviews. We don't know how to network well, just a different other ways that we show up sometimes. And small tweaks are the huge difference to get us past that next level and us starting to run the divisions, the corporations, the nonprofits, whatever it is.
Now, Brandy, I don't know what they told you, but this is both sides of the conversation now.
Yeah.
Both sides of the conversation. Because I hear you, and you caught me. So you're a good
Say what you got to say.
You caught my ear. But I think that's the problem. We got too many people that's BSing their way to the top. And I think this is why our community is failing right now, right? So I get it. To climb the ladder, you got to play the game. You got a brown nose. You got to do all that stuff. I don't want that model no more. Okay, we need the people that's doing the work, that's having the impact, because those intentions is good, but sometimes you don't get the impact.
But and you're not going to get the impact, and it's not brown nosing. So that's the difference. It's about knowing how to communicate and sell yourself, so you can be seen and heard for everything that you bring to the table. If you don't have the skills, don't apply for the job. I don't believe in that. If you are unqualified, I don't believe in you applying for the job. I am talking about the person who is qualified for the job and you still can't break through. Then we need to look at what is your messaging like to be able to capture the ear and capture the audience of whoever it is you need to get in front of in order to advance in your career.
Yeah. I got a few things, Brent. Number one, because I swear I'm like John Henry. John Henry is the new Nate Ford. I just wanted to say that. I used to be like John Henry, but I'm tired. But John just taking the torch. But how do you teach people like a Nate Ford or John Henry how to maybe know when is that right time to do those things? What's your method? Is there a method to picking a right time to say something that is really right, but maybe the wrong platform to say it? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Okay. First, I'm going to tell you this. the way that I get people to innately adapt the skill is to practice in public. I make my clients practice when you don't need it. So when you are talking to your husband, you're talking to somebody at the water cooler, you on your lunch break or whatever, start using the skills and the language then so you can hear yourself. You can start to refine, and you can ask somebody who you trust, because they gonna say, what? Like, who is this person? Who you brand new? And when you can ask them, like, what did it sound like? And they'll give you honest feedback, right? Like, I kind of liked it, I heard you, or that's not working. So you get the practice and refinement. But the way that you get that in the program itself is you identify a context that you want to work on. It's not arbitrary. So when you join the program, I ask you, what are you shooting for? And that's what we're prepping for. It might even be something 2 years down the line. It might be 3 months down the line. It might be next week. But what are you working towards? And we start focusing intently on that thing.
Okay. And then my last one was just talk a little more about the importance of changing management and, how to, be thinking that, because I know some people be setting their ways, they shooting for the moon and, oh, we want to do this, we want to do that, but it's realistically not, possible. And that. So
yep.
How do you get people to kind of reel it in and stay within their means?
I wouldn't say that that's a focus of mine, honestly. Like, you have to come to the table knowing what you want as your next step. I can't define it for you, right? Like, nobody can change you, only you can change you. So in terms of reeling it in, you have to be honest about what your actual skill sets are. And that's our onboarding process. And I'll be really transparent. I don't take on any client. I screen people, because it is my time and I know my value. I know my worth. And so anyone not willing to put in the time and commitment for themselves, I'm not the right person for you, because there is weekly coaching and engagement. We're going to see progress happen.
I think I better go get my therapy and my anger management before I come see you, Brandy, because I don't know if I don't want to waste your time.
You should.
But one of the community members asked, where are you located? I do have your information up on the screen, but I guess they want to know where you're located at.
I'm physically located in Long Beach, California. I work remotely with anyone in the United States. I want to share screen with you real quick.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to show you. Are you seeing my screen? There you go. So if you're interested, you can join our Facebook group. I just started it. I used to post everything on my public page, and then it would get mixed in with like my personal stuff, sharing my kids and my husband and all that stuff. So I just recently started a Facebook page where the way I tied back to my community is I give weekly leadership challenges. So just a little bit to get you started and thinking about what some of your next steps might be. We go live every week and also put in some type of leadership challenge there. And the easiest way to find everything is the link that is provided. It will take you to, if you ever want to take me up on a free leadership exercise, you can submit it to me. I give you back free feedback. You can get a free gift from me, which is a workbook called The Insider. I designed that workbook after I did my own therapy session and started unpeeling my own layers about my depression and my anger and how it was showing up. And I recognized in myself there was a process that I went through, and there was a process that I needed in order to be able to start showing up differently. So I designed a workbook around that process, and it's free for anyone. You can join the program here if you're interested, our Facebook group, follow me on LinkedIn, and our video blog.
All right, you can stop. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying.
No,
there you go.
I remember now. I remember I'm supposed to be connected with you. So now it's all coming back in my head. I've been.
You didn't follow through, and I didn't follow through with you. I said he ain't serious, so I'm moving on.
No, you did. Now I'm kicking myself because I said, wait a second. I know what this is, but see, I've been through a lot of stuff over the last year. I ain't forgot about you. I have
seen you. I've been wanting to tell you my condolences to you as well.
Yes, I still have the paperwork sitting right here. You ain't forgot about. I know who you is. I will come to your coaching class. I definitely need it as a leader of the community. I will connect with you. Seriously, I will connect
Okay.
with you. Things have been taking place, transpiring, but I'm starting to get to a place where I can use those tips and those things to help me out, because I definitely need it, because I'm very angry. I'm very disappointed at what's going on in
I
our
can't
Black
help you with
community.
your anger, but I can help you show up beyond that anger. I can help you hide it and show up a little differently.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much. We're going to get your information out. Please reach out to Brandy. She has her Facebook page and all that great stuff. The information's up on the screen. Leak out. We do need to have this leadership and things happen in our community, coach our folks into success. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to deal with my anger issues first and some of my grief, and then I'm going to reach out to you and see if we can get some sessions booked up. But I really appreciate you reaching out. I know it's been a while. We've been trying to connect to get you on. I had a brain fart there. I was like, wait a second, that's Brandy.
Yeah. I also signed up in December to do the education course. So I've been putting together a free kind of mini tutorial of the program to get to the community also.
Okay, yeah. I think it was the hair change. The hair changed a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I'm a black girl. I'm a black chick. It's always different. Absolutely.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for bringing your time. Community, here's an opportunity. If you're running an organization, you're running a business, or you're working in an organization, you're trying to move up, here's an opportunity to connect with this sister that got phenomenal information to help you climb that ranking ladder and get some of the tools that's needed so that you don't get passed by anymore. Thank you for coming on. You're not a hidden gem now. We're going to make sure we share your information. And then, Brandy, if you have any of your classes or any stuff coming up you want us to blast out for community, please send those digital flyers over to you. We'll put it out in our Facebook group page, and we'll get it out to community so folks can connect with you. All right. Thank you very much for coming on. Look at that beautiful stuff tonight. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring up my brother sitting there waiting. Give us 1 second. We got to get this sisters on. This has been the Queen Empowering moment, Jamil. Hang in there, brother. I know we coming. We're going to bring up Miss Cheryl. Come on up, Miss Cheryl, and talk to the people and tell us who you are, what you're doing, so the community know who you are, sister.
Hi. My name is Cheryl Shanks, and I am here today. And I am proud to be working on the planning committee with Community Leadership Foundation. That is a Dream Keepers agency that's new here into the Tenderloin, and I am very proud to be part of them. I am a native San Franciscan. I am a community organizer, advocate, and activist. I work on campaigns. I led the campaign for the first 2 24-hour pit stops. Matt Haney's campaign. I work on several campaigns. The last campaign I'm most proud of working on is Chesa Boudin. I led his campaign here in the Tenderloin. And I will fight for him not to be recalled as well. I work for myself. I don't work for anybody. I get things done working for myself. I have a stronger voice. I can tell the truth, and I can say what needs to be heard in social justice without having people over my head telling me what to do. I have decided at the age of 60 that I will not work under white people anymore, and that I will continue working for myself. It's a little more of a hustle, but things are getting done. I'm also luckily on the oversight and accountability was commissioner for the Dream Keepers. I'm very proud of that. I'm honored that I got picked, and I'm very honored to meet everybody who is here tonight and find out more about how people are utilizing that initiative. I'm here to share a story of leadership here in the Tenderloin and what occurred last week on the 20th in my SRO. I have been clean and sober for over 5 years, which took me a lot of work. I actually, along with my recovery, I put my my degree aside as a teacher, head teacher for the Head Start program. And speaking of degrees, I realized that my experience in suffering and pain in what I do goes a lot further than that BA degree. So it's put down right now. In my SRO, I was in a room with a friend who loved my dog. I thought was a friend. Out of nowhere, after a year, he started calling me a nigger, and to get my dog out of the room. So I got my dog out of the room. That's when the trauma began. In my room, I heard a lot of commotion going on. I opened my door and I looked down, and there was a officer who called me down there, and I thought, what the hell's going on? I shut the door, leaving my poor puppy in the room, and I go down and I say, what is going on? And they say, if we look in your unit, will we find a knife? I said, please look, be my guest. Neighbors were coming out, wondering what's going on, Cheryl, you know. Letting the cops know who I am and what I do. I found out that living in the Tenderloin, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do to these white rookies. And some of the older cops, if you're black, that's all that matters. And if a white person calls on you. My neighbor, so I talking to the cops down the hall and saying, what is going on? They said, your neighbor, Ron Powell, called and said that you pulled a knife on him. I thought, Jesus Christ. Go check my room. And they said, no, we don't have to. When they read me my rights, I was in tears and I'm thinking, what is going on? And they let me know that his friend a couple of doors away lied and said, yes, he did see the knife. It was one big lie. I asked, they both have been, I let the police know that they both have been up for the last 3 days on crystal meth and crack cocaine. And it was obvious the darkness under their eyes and the runny nose. And we know the look of people who have been on drug runs. And the officer paid no attention to that, paid no attention to my clean and sober time, no attention to what I do in this community. All the work I do in this community meant nothing to him. I was arrested. He arrested me, and he whispered to me that he knew, quietly, he let me know he knew the guy who, Ron Powell, who lied and called the police on me. I thought, what? This guy, Ron, is 6'3", probably about 270 pounds. I am 5'1", 100 and something. I'm not going to tell you the rest, but I am very, very small, and that is just completely ridiculous. Anybody with any kind of common sense would know this is completely an outrageous story, and there's nothing real about it. I was taken in handcuffs. I had to call a friend to come get my puppy, or my puppy would have went to the pound. I cried my eyes out. I was counting the years of not being arrested, and in a couple more months, it would have been 10 years. 10 years. And so I went to jail. I am 60 years old. I sat in a booking cell for 21 hours. Cold benches, cold wall, cold floor. I was with 2 other women close to my age. You know, we're innocent in there. We haven't been proven guilty yet. So from 7 p.m. until 4 p.m. the next day, I sat in the cold. With my spine, I have spine injuries. So the next day, I went to the pod. When I went to the pod, I was almost crippled because I didn't have my medication for my spine and for my pain. Because once you're in jail, you go on their time. So my people here in the Tenderloin, my people got me out at City Hall. They had to call down to City Hall and they had to work to get me out because Chesa Boudin and Matt Haney, and they know that I'm a target here in the Tenderloin because when I worked in Chesa Boudin's campaign, the police knew who I was and they harassed me. But what I wanted to say is, racism is alive and the police are working they're working with the racist criminals now. So the racist criminals know that all they have to do is call, and if the right white officer shows up, no questions asked. So if someone like myself can be arrested with all the work I do in the community, that's really alarming to me about racism, and shows how racism has the doors have been opened again because of our president. I think he opened the doors and they're alive and well. And I'm really really glad that the Economic Leadership Foundation is now here, because I've been in the Tenderloin for a while, and believe it or not, most of the leaders in the Tenderloin are white people. I stood alone for a while, and I was just so thrilled to meet Majid and Jamil. You could ask them. I was just so thrilled because I had somebody on my side I felt that would understand and work with me and help me collaborate with the other Black people and the other organizations in different parts of the city. So I feel like we need to collaborate together and collectively work together. And you were saying that, John, and yes.
Wow.
Yes, and so this is hopeful. This is right here is hopeful, because that's one thing they're counting on. They're not counting in the Dream Keeper initiative. They're counting on us failing. They want us to fail. They want us to see the money get messed up with these businesses. So, we need to work together, all of the districts, and come together. And I hope to work with all of you more on that.
Wow, powerful stuff. Sorry that unfortunate situation happened. It's too many Karens and too many Kens in our community, impacting our community, especially with our leaders. And I just apologize to even hear that you had to go through that horrific situation. But I heard your name before around the community, and I'm just happy to see. It took me a second to figure out who you really was. And I'm glad that you're here tonight, because you are a powerful woman. You are doing some phenomenal things, and we're glad to have you on the Oversight and Accountability Commission, and holding that seat and just doing some of the things that you do for the Tenderloin community. As we know that community is impacted with homelessness and drugs, and a lot of crises in our city are faced down in the Tenderloin. So way to go to walk the streets and the beat down there. And again, thank you for announcing my brother Majid Crawford and NCLF and the work that they're doing. Phenomenal group of young men that are trying to take the leadership role. And I'm glad that you're connected with them and doing the work because it's very, very important that these types of things that are happening are being addressed. People are being accountable for their decisions that they make especially when they're impacting our elders of the community, our seniors. We have to stand up as community. And this is what I'm talking about, coming together. We could all boycott and come together for other folks, but when it comes to our folks, nobody's around, and we got to change that model. And it starts with all of the community organizations. It starts with all the community folks coming together, supporting when things like this happen, so it doesn't happen in our community no more. As long as they see us divided, they're going to continue to pick and poke. The more we come together and we're marching with one voice and we're marching together in solidarity, it's hard to break down that fence. But with that being said, with all your experience, okay, as a powerful campaigner, I got to get you on my campaign, okay? I'm running for governor. I don't know if you heard. John Henry for governor in 2023. I'm running for governor. I need you on my thing so I can go ahead and go for it and make changes.
Thank you. Yeah.
But thank you for your work, Queen. And we just happy to have you holding the seat that you're holding and doing the things for the community and our folks down there in the Tenderloin and working with NCLF. But Nate, did you have any questions? Anything you want to say?
No, I've heard a lot about Miss Cheryl, and I just want to just thank you for your courageousness and you being courageous and and standing up to people, and you got some good allies with Majid and Jamil down there, so I think you're in good hands down there. Keep fighting.
And you getting me ready. See, you telling me the story because John Henry on both sides of the conversation. They coming for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're gonna be calling the police on me real soon. So I need all y'all 30,000 people out there that's boycotting KTVU. When they come for John Henry, make sure y'all there to support me because I'm gonna need it. Because I'm a mover and shaker. I'm making noise, and they're gonna be coming for me. So Miss Cheryl, you gotta give me all the details. We'll have to talk offline. Because I gotta get ready. Because I know they got some tricks in the bag for old John Henry. I gotta get ready.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate you.
But I did want to say that, we are getting a soul food restaurant here in the Tenderloin, finally. So I've got them working on that. And that's just the beginning. I want to get a lot more soul food restaurants here. There isn't any real soul food.
That's right. We got to bring our food and our people back to the community.
That's right.
Thank you, Cheryl, for all you're doing. Please, as you get your soul food restaurant going and all those different things that y'all doing with Majid, make sure y'all send us over the digital flyers so that we can make sure community is connected with your events. So when things are happening, we show up. And if we need to march down to the district attorney's office, if we need to call out those police, I'm going to do like they did for KTU. I'm going to say all 30,000 of y'all, we got to pull up to the DA's office with Miss Cheryl because they trying to do it wrong. So I'm going to make sure we get that information out to the community.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And we're looking forward to talking with you in the future. Thanks for coming on, letting community know what you do. Keep that accountability going because I'm going to be right there on the side of you because I'm going to be doing the assessments, going into these nonprofits, going into their organizations, making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do, especially all that Dream Keeper money. And when I find out they ain't doing what they're supposed to do, I'm going to call you on the phone. Miss Cheryl, we got one right here. Make sure you take care of them for me on the back end, okay?
Then we'll work with them.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Cheryl, for all you do, and we'll keep in contact. And again, apologies for what you went through. That is a shame that someone in our community had to be impacted by the systemic racism and the racist folks that we deal with in our city. Those Karens and kids, we're coming for you. We're going to pull up 30,000 folks from the community. We're going to pull up to his apartment and knock on his door and let him know. We ain't having that type of behavior no more in our community. But thank you for coming on tonight. We appreciate you. And we're looking forward to connecting with you and Majid in the future for some conversations. Maybe that's a conversation we need to have about these folks, these Karens and Kens in our community that continue to impact our community leaders and trying to bring them down. So thank you very much. And congratulations on your 5 years of sobriety. I always like to acknowledge folks. It's always a grind. It's a struggle, especially when you're working and living in the Tenderloin. The temptation is there. So you're a strong woman to make sure that you stay straight. And we thank you for that. And we honor you for your sobriety. And thank you for the work you're doing, Queen. All right. Have a blessed evening. Brother, last hidden gem, y'all. This brother right here, man, if you're looking for some motivation, if you got an excuse out there, because there's a lot of people in excuse. I'm tired. I've been doing this work for 40 years. John Henry, I don't want to do it no more. You're looking for an excuse. I don't want to hear no excuses. We're going to bring up my brother Jamil here. Grind time. If you got an excuse, after this brother talk, you got an excuse, man. I don't know what's going on here. This brother right here be grinding.
Stop it.
Doing the work. This brother be working his butt off. And, why before you get started, I just want to say congratulations on the success. I see your stores dropping. I see your merchandise all over. I see you in Fairfield. I see you all over the place. I got my grind time gear too. I'm going to go get some more. This is the man, the CEO, the founder of Grind Time. This brother got a powerful testimony. We're happy to have you back here. Anytime both sides of the conversation needs you, always show up. That King supporting King's motto is real. Just like Brother Nate, anytime we call to show up, they show up, man. But thanks for having you back, man. Going to talk to the people, man. Let them know what's going on with Grind Time, baby.
Hey, man, you said it all. We can go now. You said it all, John.
Nah, come on, man. Tell the people what inspired you, man, to just think about the outreach and mobilizing a different city. Like, come on, man, get the young people. They listening.
Well, since we first did our first show, right? When we first did our very first show, actually, that was about a year ago, almost this month, as a matter of fact, a year ago this month. So everything that's happened for me wasn't planned, right? You know, it originated by just me sharing my day-to-day life, right? Which is a little invasive, you know, but I kind of, you know, wanted to kind of share that so people get a visual. And the whole point was of getting a visual, like, well, why would you want to see anybody who'd be interested in your life? Well, you know, I walking one day and then you're in a wheelchair. So you're comparing how you were treated when you were walking to how you were when you're seated. So you start having to say, well, let me show, because, you know, let me show them I'm good. Like I move like you. So I just put the camera on, and it was grind time from that moment. Every day. I was just sharing. And I just decided to throw a t-shirt on. And got the t-shirt, no business plan, none. I'm still, because remember, my goal is not sales. It is I'm trying to I want to sound cliche, but raise awareness, right? John, let's keep it real. I'm trying to get some respect here. Okay, that's why I put the camera on. I'm trying to get, you know, because whatever I'm doing ain't working. I'm still being treated like a toddler here, right? So that was the goal. But the shirt, believe it or not, how we never knew this, John, right? That this would happen. You know, got a couple of shirts made and was wearing it, going to the gym, sharing, being active and staying healthy and getting about and doing what you got to do the way you got to do it, and so on and so forth. And then, you know, I would say God sort of just kept putting things in motion and throwing things out there at me that took that thing to a whole nother level. It was overwhelming, you know, because I'm not a salesman and I'm not in retail and I didn't plan this. It's like, yo, I'm trying to get a level playing field for brothers that look like me with the mainstream people. That's what I'm doing. What's all this over here? What you know, what's all this clothes stuff? So, well, the clothes then I began to understand that I can use this as leverage rather than me browbeating somebody. I can put it on them. Do something, you know, that was sort of my my mindset. That was sort of my thought process, and let this speak for it. And it did well. What can I say? It did well.
I think it did more than well, brother. You opening up stores, you upping stores everywhere, it did more than well. See, sometimes it ain't about the business plan, just like we talk about people trying to do things, right? Sometimes what's meant for you is meant for you. And whatever it is, your testimony is what our ancestors, the high spirit, wanted to put out there to the world. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm ashamed of myself. Okay, I'm going to keep it real. I'm ashamed of myself. You make me, I go in the mirror sometimes and say, get off your butt, go up there and do a couple pull-ups, a couple sit-ups or something. I see you up there doing pull-ups. I see you doing all this stuff, and I can't even get out there and do nothing. I'm too busy, right?
Hey,
But if this brother can do it, I know I can do it, man.
here's the
showed
thing
me
about
up,
that. Here's the thing what people got to understand. What people got to understand is that it works both ways. See what I'm saying? So while you're doing that, I'm saying, shit, I ain't doing no more than 3 meetings today. I'm watching you, and I'm saying, hey. So we keep each other on we make sure our bar is not too low. That's what it is, because nobody's going to pick you up and drag you out the house and make you do something. You know, whatever you got to, you know, whatever you about, you got to be about that on your own. But we use each other, and I hope people use me to measure whether they are setting their bar too damn low. I want you to have a high bar, right? So I measure my ability based on people who are high performers, not so that I can beat them, but so that I can be honest about how low my bar is. So if I'm watching others excel, then I know I need to keep my bar up. So that's why I'm always preaching and teaching that your attitude is your altitude. And you have to set a high bar for yourself. You know, it's as simple as that. It's not science. It's not that, you know, it's not that complicated to understand. It's really simple. It's hard to accept, and it can be difficult to do initially, like most things that you've never done, or most tests that you haven't studied for and you're not prepared for. It can be difficult in the beginning, but that's where you got to grind at. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody be doing it. So, but eventually, if you make it a lifestyle, it becomes so natural that Cheryl, Nate, John of the worlds sort of naturally roll over and get it going, even if we don't feel like it. So you got to get to that point, though. You got to get to that point.
Man, very, very powerful stuff, man. You know, I just want to commend you because, again, you're a brother that never have excuses. You never let your situation dictate, you know, where you're going and what you're doing. And I appreciate that, but I also still say, you know, it's real. It is what it is. And you always give me that humility and that compassion. And it always, when I see you, because sometimes I get frustrated with stuff, and sometimes I want to just, you know, the heck with everything. But when I see you out there and the things you're doing, man, it just keep me going. And you know, I just, you know, commend, you know, your efforts and your work and what you do. You know, I see you out there. I know what you do. I understand the challenges, but it's powerful when you don't let the challenges and the obstacles stop you from doing what you want to do. So every time I get to that point where I feel it's an obstacle, it's a hater, somebody trying to stop me, right? I think about you, brother. I'm gonna be real with you. I said, man, listen, what would grind time do? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You pushing through, man. No excuses. You just got to go and do what you got to do. So, you know, you are very, very much influencer in our community. You are very, very much that motivation that we need, because I see you up, you know, I'm up, you know. Nate got me, you know, I don't know. I only get 2 hours of sleep, man. I only can sleep 2 hours of sleep, man. I watch Nate, man. I just feel like I ain't doing enough. You know what I'm saying? I watch Nate. I just go and throw my hands. I said Nate everywhere, right? I'm doing 2 hours of sleep to keep up with Nate. But you know, to see
all
you,
y'all, man, all y'all.
But to see you doing the things that you do, brother, man, I'm gonna just tell you, it's a great inspiration. And you know, we just thankful to have a brother like you in our community. You know, because our young people get to see it, you know what I mean? And you get to host a community coming behind you and supporting what you do. So that's very, very, very important. But in the comments here, you know, Sister Sadrina, you know, she's a business owner. You know, she do her pop-ups and all the amazing things she's doing with her business. She wanted to know how long you was in business, and she wanted to know some of the other things that you got going on with Grind Time.
Been in business now a year. this month. Thanks to Facebook, I ain't gonna give them too much props now after Congress, but thanks to Facebook, not the algorithms, but the memories. Yeah, the memories popped up, and it was a year ago this month that I put my first T-shirt out. A few months later, brother from another mother hit me up, threw me an alley-oop. Dude, we got a spot out here in Fairfield. Bring your stuff. 2 months later, threw me another alley-oop. Hey man, we got another store in Emeryville. Bring your stuff. And that's what's been going on with it. The other thing though is really the bigger picture is going on is I actually got a call to go speak to with Congress. I think in DC with one of the councilwomen's in Cocoa County. She's a councilwoman and advocate. And just yesterday, she hit me up to go, talk about, we don't call it inclusive. When you guys say diversity and inclusion, we call it diversity and access in the workplace and in public places is where, we're going to talk, because there's some, when you talk about diversity and inclusion, there's a question mark there that's not being spoken. Include who? So yeah, with a person with a disability or a person in a wheelchair, and I hate the term disability, I would attach that probably in another year. I'll be at Congress trying to change that name. But for now, when you talk about that, we don't know if you mean those people too. So it has to be spelled out that if you mean everybody, inclusion, including everyone, then we need to see everyone. So that's where I come in at. That's the bigger picture. And the grind time just happens to help me get the exposure so I can push my agenda and kind of look fly doing it, right? Because it's easy to get your attention with some clothes. I can, it's easy to talk to you, to listen, to have a conversation, to share your story and things of that nature. So that is what else, to answer her question, is going on. Just a lot of, just hopefully a lot of, a lot more attention being brought to just recognizing brothers, man, that are just sitting down. The only difference between myself and maybe John or Nate or, what's the big homie, Damien, that is, believe it or not, in this circle right now, Nate, you, me, Rico, whatever people that we know, Spank and Stank and all them, only because you know me is why I'm greeted. But there's just, even though I'm from the community, even though my name is recognized, like I'm a brother, I'm a little brother, I'm the youngest of three. Burrells, grew up in Bayview. A lot of people know me. Even though that's the case, there's still a separation. There's still what they call, what you would call internal bias in the Black community, and so I recognize it, I still recognize it. And until that doesn't happen anymore, it's going to take more than just us, right? It's going to take more than just people And really quick, my last point on that is, think about it like this. The reason why this happens is because society has allowed it to, right? What do I mean by that? The reason why ramps, let's take Chase Stadium, brand new stadium, major city, San Francisco, Warriors, Chase Stadium, 2021. Do you know what a wheelchair elevator is? Brand new, top of the line, way around this hallway, a narrow hallway. And the elevator isn't even a big elevator. It's that single elevator, meaning me and another chair couldn't even get in. Now, why is that? Why would that happen? That happens because no one has complained. Non-able people hasn't complained about it. Things that people bring attention to on a large societal scale gets attention. So that's sort of a subliminal message there.
So that's why we hear both sides of the conversation. We're going to keep advocating for you. And I agree with you. This is why advocacy is so important. I know you don't like the term disability, but we got to advocate as community for that. You shouldn't have to deal with that. Ramps, that should be intentional in the planning. But again, like you said, if we're not organizing and we're not coming together on these conversations and it's not being highlighted, okay, the major media is not going to cover it until there's a major lawsuit or something, right? But we need people like both sides of the conversation, different organizations to get that message and to get that information out. We hear and we support you, brother. We hear you. So thank you for your advocacy work. And when you get to Capitol Hill, give them that love, give them that juice, and tell them what we need. We need it, right? And we're going to have another disability conversation coming up. I'm still yelling at DPH. We got to get DPH, and they terrible.
I was waiting on you. I was waiting on you.
They've been having problems. We'll get them on there, but Sister Brandy got to go. But I want to pull her up real quick before we go.
Yeah.
Sister Brandy, because I know you got to go. The kids wait for you. But tonight's question, before we end tonight's segment, everybody else jumped off because we took too long. It's okay. It's both sides of the conversation. Things like that happen. But before you go, because you're powerful, I want to hear from you. The question tonight is, how do we get the Black community reciprocity? How do we make this thing real? How do we get people to work together, invest in each other? Both ways, collaboratively, make those intersections meet. Reciprocity. What do y'all think about that? How do we get our Black folks doing it in the community?
Well, let me tell you what my theory is. I'm looking for my light so I can turn it on. You can see me. I can't find it. It's down there. Sorry.
We just need to hear your voice. Just go.
So I've been in education for a really long time, and one of the things that I have learned and grappled with is oftentimes the parents of students come from those same broken schools that we service. And so they have mistrust and, because of their own experience or navigating the process and didn't find their own success. And so then when in education in particular, when we're reaching out for reciprocity from parents, from community, that trauma hasn't been healed, right? The trauma of their experience in order to trust the new leadership, the new executives, that something else is going to be different. And that often gets replicated even in the workplace, because when I moved into the nonprofit sector, it was very similar, where most of the Black people could talk about all their trauma that happened in school, and you could see the same kind of pushback or hesitancy that would happen in the workplace show up. And so there's a lot of self-healing that has to happen. There's a lot of systems healing that has to happen. And in order for reciprocity, there is on both sides of the community and the organizations or the educational institutions or whatever, to also say we have to look at ourselves and be willing to lower our defenses in order to reach each other. It takes both. It's not one person's responsibility, but there is history of trauma that happens within organizations to people that stops that from happening.
See, that's why I called you on first. That was so eloquently put, community. Now, you couldn't get a better answer. I couldn't have gave you that, but I'm going to tell you this. That's very powerful. But when you talk about healing, it goes back to what I'm always advocating for. Mental health in our community needs to be the number one priority in this country. We need to invest as much money that we invested in COVID into mental health especially in our Black community,
Absolutely.
so that we can help heal. Very, very powerful statement. I'm gonna let you go and run with the kids.
Thank you.
Thank you again. I will be
Good
connecting with you soon.
All right, sounds good.
Thank
Bye,
you very
everyone.
much. All right, real quick, Nate, before you go, if y'all want to answer that reciprocity, what do y'all think? You know, our sister Brandy eloquently put it together. I think mental health is a big part of it. The only way we could trust and get through that healing of that hurt to start, you know, and it's not, I do something for you, you have to do something for me. Just that model of how we engage and work with each other. But Nate, go ahead.
Yeah.
I know Nate's been holding on.
Yeah. I think you hit it on the news, on the head, John. It's this whole generation is like, what have you done for me lately? We got to get rid of that. You know, I'm 33 years in this, and I've never, I'm more of a giver than a receiver. I don't know how to receive things, and I think people, want to do something with a dollar sign attached to them. It ain't all about the money all the time. We gotta get back to real community, and I don't know the answer, John. You got the answers, but I don't want to start you tonight. So I'm not going to start you, but you know the answers, John. And our sentiments are the same, man. I pray every night that we just come together. That's all I can do, man. At this point, is pray.
Man, that's real deep, Nate. I mean, I know it's just, and I've always been on that model with you, man, trying to help give more. But it's unfortunate sometimes you give so much. We do all this in-kind service, and people just don't respect, the stuff you do, and Nate, what you do, Jamil, what you do, and here we uplift so many people. We don't hate on nobody. We don't ask for nothing, and the disrespect sometimes that people have. I'm a nice guy. I smile. I have fun and joke, but I always tell people, don't think for 1 second that I can't turn into this person that you don't
get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
Smiley, don't come back to Smiley.
Don't get it twisted. Just because I be smiling, don't think for 1 second that, I just, and it bothers me because sometimes people, I just don't understand sometimes. And that's why I asked that question now. Like, we have to work together, but it's a give and take. We try to do everything to uplift people, but people don't even want to uplift themselves. It's sad. Selfishness in our community, the egos, and instant gratification is killing our community every day. Go ahead, brother. Grind time.
I'll just add one other thing to it is we lack man and womanhood training, old school style, right? Discipline, consistency, consequences, training. We don't have that. Black Panthers had it, young kids, when they did the lunch programs, there was a code of conduct. Any village is going to run amok when there is no code of conduct. And we live, like Nate kind of alluded to, in you too, that the kind of we in that, what have you done for me lately? When you starting from the womb, you're taking directions and giving orders from that point on. It's not what have you done for me. So I'm talking about from the cradle, because unfortunately, I know John is a big advocate and believe that everybody can change, and I don't step on anybody's thought process. At the same time, we know we got to grab them young, because it's harder, and we don't have that much time when you're like me. You're 30 and 40 and 50, and that's who's running around. That's who's our 30s, 40s, and 50s is running around. And you see Facebook. I just saw a mother. I thought it was two daughters cussing at each other. It was the mama and the daughter. I was like, and then the 10,000 comments was rooting on. They're rooting. So I'm like, well, okay. Now when don't jump on a GoFundMe when Laquita, gets slammed and then you say it's male, whatever the case may be, but our leadership is missing. It's totally missing. And we gotta start from there, man. A code of conduct, consequences, manhood and womanhood training.
Man,
That's what I think.
I agree 100% with you. It start with brothers like us. We got to take our community back. We got to stand up as men, work with each other, salute each other, start all this competition, and got to work together. And it's very frustrating. And I'm glad you brought that up. It's going to take some work. But the reason why I do believe that people can get it, because I just believe in second chances, and I also believe that sometimes you never know when the light switch kicks on, right? And we know that there was a gap of information and education that happened in our community with drugs, separation of the fathers, and we have to bring it back. And that's why I keep saying on my platform, we have to reset. All of the goals and everything that we're doing, we're operating out of Z.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a second
We
chance.
got to start back at A. We got to start back at A. The basics, like you said, the basic things. Pull your pants up. You get what I'm saying? Have respect. Different things that we just lost. Some of that stuff, man, to make our community empowered and impacted. But again, with leadership, I agree with you. We have poor leadership in a lot of areas across this country, not just here in San Francisco. And it's time to really have those conversations, pass the torch. A lot of divisiveness, a lot of craziness happening. And we just can't enable that behavior no more. We got a lot of people that want to do the right thing, but they're still straddling the fence. You get what I'm saying? Grind time, they're straddling the fence. And it's hard to get our young people to believe in what we're doing when you're straddling the fence. And that's why I always commend Nate. And I always commend certain folks in our community because they don't straddle the fence. They know what side they're going to be on, and they stick to it. But when we're talking about messaging, and the sisters that was on here earlier talking about language and messaging, if we don't get it right, if we don't stand on one side of the fence, the more we straddle the fence, we are taking another generation of young people off the different paths because they think things that we know ain't okay. We're saying that it's okay, and we have to stop that in our community because we are further damaging our community. We're not healing our community. And when people are wrong, we just have to say what it is. It's too much silence in our community. It's too many people enabling the bad behavior. It's too many people, promoting the things that separate us. And it's okay because it's the social clubs, as Nate say. It's the groups, the fan clubs. I'm cool with y'all over here. I'm cool over here. These pockets of that. We have to stop that. As a community, we have to say enough's enough. If you're straddling the fence and you're on the wrong side of the fence, we just gonna say, hey, we love you, but stay on that side. We lead our young people. So that's just
nobody wanna hurt anybody's feelings.
I agree 100% with you. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. I have anger management issues. Director Davis have told me I need anger management therapy. I'm going to get some anger management therapy. But again, I'm not going to play with my people. I love my people out there, and I'm always going to advocate and fight for my people. And if that means I'm a little angry or I'm a little passionate or my conversation gets a little colorful, community, I love my people.
Yeah,
I believe
but you know
we
what?
can do anything.
But that's okay because you know what? But people know where you stand. See, I can look past all that because I know where you stand. All that other stuff, that's what's important. People getting hung up on whatever, that ain't important. That look at the bigger picture. So if you know where he stands, you ain't gotta like every little thing he say. I know where he stands. That's what counts. Not how you make me feel. And we too damn old for that. Let me stop.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop. I know Nate mad is getting late. We got to get out of here. Hey, but thank you, Grind Time. Continue to do the things that you're doing to impact our community. When communities see the things that you're doing, you inspire a lot of people. When you speak, you inspire people. And we're just going to continue to pray for you and give you those spirits as you go to Congress and you start having these most important conversations. Advocating for access. I like that. Access is everything, especially for you in the situation. And I'm gonna start using that as well to help advocate for you. Our people need access. They okay with the challenges, but they need access. We need to be intentional. The city planners, the city permit folks need to be intentional to think about the folks who need access.
Yes.
GPH, you have a role and a responsibility to make sure brothers like Grind Time have access.
Preach.
You gotta have access. So we're going to keep doing our part. We're going to walk on the side of you, brother. Anything you need us to do, you already know. Reach out to me and we'll get it. And we will be having a part 2 to that disability conversation, no matter if DPH come or not. The next conversation, we are talking about access, community, grind time. We need access to people, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you all for tuning in. Tonight was a powerful hidden gem segment. Brother Nate is back. For all y'all talking about, where's Nate at? Nate is here.
I'm here.
Rebels is in the building.
Let's
Impact.
go.
Let's
Let's
do
go.
it.
Let's
so thank
go.
you all for tuning in this Thursday. Y'all got to tune in if you're in the reentry. You want to understand what's happening when our folks are coming from prison back to the community. We're going to have a powerful conversation this Thursday for our educational presentation. We got a phenomenal sister coming on to talk about reentry and educate our community. Because when our folks come home from prison, they don't know how to use smartphones. They don't know how to use debit cards. They don't know how to use some of the technology and advancements that we have. And as Brother Grind just said, they need access too. We need access to the community for them as well, so that we can get more of our people back in the community working and being productive members of our community. So we got a great educational Thursday this Sunday, and then this Thursday, and then this Sunday, we're going to have a powerful conversation about breast cancer awareness. And I'm going to apologize now to the community because I'm going to be out in the community. And I'm still going to do the show. We got Brittany here. Brittany's going to be co-hosting. And some of our both sides of the conversation ladies going to be holding it down in the studio. I'll be out in the field. We'll be at the Humbre Black Party. We'll be uplifting our sister, Dr. Carol. We'll be out there. We'll be out there celebrating and uplifting the community. But I'll still be on there to talk to our sisters who are dealing with breast cancer, survivors of breast cancer, and some of the medical professionals that's going to give the gems, the information to the queens in the community. Go get checked. We're going to bring the education and awareness. Don't let COVID fool you. There's a lot of sisters that we are losing through breast cancer and having complications. So community, when you think about vaccination, you think about those things, just understand, if you're not vaccinated and you go to the hospital, you're taking up a bed that sometimes our sisters who have breast cancers are going through treatment, might need that service. Be compassionate. Be compassionate, have humility, and understand what you do reflect everybody. Be the change, community. We all have to do it. Nobody's perfect. But if we walk in those steps of trying to do the right thing, we can have great impact. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Please go to our website, sign up for our newsletter, check out the things that's coming up. We got some phenomenal things coming up with the Rebels, with the community. We got some things going on in Oakland that we're going to put together because we're going to bring the Bay together. Black San Francisco, Black Oakland, Black Richmond, Black Vallejo. Get ready. Both sides of the conversation. We're bringing everybody full circle. We're going to bless the people because that's what we all about. Blessing the people. Having them compassion and humility. We'll be taking care of ours because we ain't waiting on nobody else to take care of us. We're going to do it ourselves. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Great hidden gem segment. We'll see you all for our next live show this Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Have a blessed evening, everybody.